Okay, now it's going. Okay, we're here with Cathy Arnett today, and we're going to talk about how to use Thermofax screens to print t-shirts. And Cathy is a master dyer and prints tons of t-shirts and tote bags and has lots to tell us about tips and tricks to make it easy to print at home. So, I guess one of the questions for you, Cathy, is you print on 100% cotton t-shirts. Does it have to be 100% cotton? Why do you like them? How are they different than regular fabric?
It doesn't have to be 100% cotton. I prefer to wear 100% cotton, but I also enjoy printing on t-shirts that are 50% polyester and 50% cotton. They print just as well. Sometimes they're cheaper. It's a matter of preference and what you want to wear and what you choose to buy. So the fiber content doesn't really matter for this.
But you do a lot of the dyeing, so that's why you like the 100% cotton?
Correct. So the dyes that I like to use only work with 100% cotton. These t-shirts that we have here today are done with 100%. I dyed these with MX dyes. They only work on natural fibers. And so these are 100% cotton.
You got a cute little onesie.
It is a cute little one. Look at the onesie. It's a baby. Okay.
Okay, so there's a few supplies that you need that, you know, are different than if you're just doing, like, in my past videos I showed basically printing art cloth. Cathy's got some supplies that you need, and she's going to explain why you need them, and at the end of I'll put in a supply list at about this point in the video, and then at the end of this video I'll also put in a resource list if some of these things are only available online. So I'll let Cathy do the yakking.
Okay, well, I'm going to go over the basic supplies first, and then we'll talk about specialty stuff. Basic supplies that you're going to need for this project are a plastic rotary cutting ruler and a nice mat to work on, your screens that you want to print, which you can buy from Lynn. I also like to use these scrapers. These are actually called tape. I think they're called taping knives, and you can get them in any paint department. I really like to work with these for screens. They're easy to use, they're easy to clean up, and you can find them almost anywhere. You're also going to need a Sharpie and some painter's tape and your paint, and obviously you also need your shirts that you want to print. The specialty items that come into play are basting spray, and I have two kinds here today. This is a spray that's marketed to people that do t-shirt printing for a living. It's a non-permanent adhesive, meaning that it doesn't ever dry. It's not meant to adhere stuff together. It's only meant to hold it together temporarily. It's basically the same as quilt basting spray. Quilt basting spray you can find in any store that carries quilting supplies. You can often use it with 50% off coupons at places like Joann's or Michael's. It's around. With the basting spray, we're also going to use what's called a t-shirt platen. And I have several different here. This is our platen for our baby onesie. A platen, it's spelled P-L-A-T-E-N, is basically a piece of cardboard that you insert inside the garment to hold it into place. It also keeps the paint from transferring to the back of the t-shirt, which is really important. And you can get ones that are shaped like t-shirts, like this one. This is made, you know, this would probably do up to an adult medium. This is made by Tulip, and I think Lynn's going to put some resources for these at the end of the video.
And just a quick note, that one that Cathy just showed, like the cardboard ones there, even the ones that says Jones Tones on the top, those were really cheap. We found them just kind of on a fluke in a craft store, and they were under $2. There's a website on the Jones Tones one, and I'll post that so you can go take a look. But if you do a lot of printing, it might be, you know, it might be more worthwhile if you want to go that route.
I'm also going to show you how to make a homemade platen out of foam board, and you can get this. It's usually with poster board in a store. It's basically like poster board with a layer of foam in the middle, and it's thicker than the cardboards that the platens are made of. It's a little bit spongy, and I like that. What I've done with this, and what I would do with the t-shirt platens, is I've covered it with clear contact paper. The reason I've done that is so that when you put the basting spray on here and you're done with your project, you can peel the contact paper off and throw it away, and then your platen is still usable for the next project you want to do. So those are the materials that we're going to use today. And do you want me to talk about setup now and how we get ready to do this?
Yeah, can you tell them if they want to make their own homemade platen, how do they figure out how big to make it?
Okay, what I did for the platen, and I'll use the baby onesie as an example. One of the ways t-shirt printing is different from art cloth printing is that it's a little more precise to get what you want. In art cloth printing, you might not care if the screen shifts a little bit or if paint doesn't quite, if it's not quite lined up perfectly. Those kinds of happy accidents are what you're looking for often. With t-shirts, you want it to be a little more orderly. And so the problem with the screens and the t-shirts is that things will move around and shift. You have to do things to prevent that from happening. With the platen, what I've done, I want to actually make it so that the t-shirt is stretched a little bit, and if I put the onesie on here and line it up, you can see that my platen is about an inch bigger than my onesie. And that's also true for the large platen that I made. We made this platen to do a 2X t-shirt, so
that's a big bugger.
Yeah. So this is for basically a newborn onesie, and this is like my size. This is for a whole lot of women is what this is. So that platen is also about an inch bigger than the shirt that I'm using. And when I say an inch bigger than the shirt, I'm talking about the measurement just under the arm, under the underarms, where the sleeve seam meets the side seam. That's the measurement we're looking at, because most likely that's where your design is going to go. What this does is it stretches the t-shirt just a little bit, and with the basting spray on here, I'll actually smooth out the shirt once the platen's inside, and none of this fabric will move. And then you'll see when we get to the printing part and I put my screen on here, I'm going to use the painter's tape to hold the screen in place. That way nothing moves and I can just focus on getting the paint onto the shirt. And then all of this can be peeled up, this shirt can be set aside, and your next shirt can be put down and get set up for printing. So those are some of the differences between this and art cloth.
Okay, we're gonna take a break here because we have a limit on how long of a video YouTube will let us put up. But we're gonna come back in another part and we're gonna show the actual printing. So we will be right back.